you have taken your time off your busy schedules to join me this morning on Microsoft Teams. Not to delay, let me jump straight to introduce myself. Okay, let me use this. Okay, so I am your host, Prince Adimado. I am an Alpha Student Ambassador at Microsoft and also a computer science student, a level 2 and a computer science student at Accra Technical University. I love to give my hobbies and my interests, but I think that's I don't feel like doing that. So let me jump straight into the outline of the program, not to delay any much time, so that we get straight to the presentation. Okay, so at the first glance, we are going to learn the introduction of GitHub, the introduction of Git. So, in introduction of GitHub, we'll be talking about the brief history of GitHub. Then we'll be creating a GitHub account live on this call. We'll be creating a live GitHub account, so that will be the account, the GitHub account that will be pushing our project on. Then some GitHub terminologies. After that, we go into the introduction of Git, some key areas to know in Git, the step-by-step procedures in installing Git on your machine. Then also we learn about the Git commands and how to push your. After learning the Git commands and getting familiar with the features in Git, we learn how to configure our Git software on our machine, so that Git knows that it is this. So that Git knows that it is you that we are using, or we are pushing your work onto that platform. Okay, so after that you'll be pushing using the commands. You'll be pushing to GitHub. So every command I use, I'll be explaining them as I go. And also, you take the opportunity to learn PowerShell. I'll be also be treating PowerShell, how to change directories in PowerShell. So we will be learning some few commands as I use PowerShell. Okay, then after that, the Q&A section, then appreciation. So let me go straight into the history of GitHub. Next slide. Okay. Okay, so GitHub. So brief history of GitHub. GitHub is a provider of internet hosting, that's cloud service for software development and version control using Git. The development of GitHub platform began on October 19, 2007. Yeah, that's some way back, you get me. So the site was launched in April 2008. GitHub saw the rise in its user base, or people using the platform, people pushing their projects, their software onto the platform. Okay. But from 2012, Microsoft became a significant user of GitHub, and the development and once they become they were hosting their open source projects such as the .NET framework, then the PowerShell on GitHub. But on June 4, 2018, Microsoft announced its intent to acquire GitHub for 7.5 billion USD. The deal was closed on October 26, 2018, and that's my source. My source is from Wikipedia. Okay, so I'll jump straight into creating a GitHub account here. So if you are live on the call, I'll jump straight to Microsoft Teams and let's see. So I'm in. Okay, so I'll share my screen now. I'll share my window, then I'll share my entire screen. Okay. So I'll share my screen so that we create a GitHub account live on the call. Okay, so now I'm sharing my screen. try to switch to a new window, but this one is blocking the view. So come here. Okay, so let me use this window. Okay, so to create a GitHub account, you have to first go to this website called called github.com/join. So /join. Once you search, and then you move this one. Please, I only see my window, my browser. If you can see my browser, please, I want you to unmute your mic, then tell me if you can see my browser. Okay, so, okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
No, we can't see it.
Then it will depend on your internet. It will show up right now. Okay. So this is actually the page. This is actually the page. So to create your GitHub account, you go to github.com/join. Then you type your username. So from here, let me type my username. I want to choose table PA. Table PA. Okay, so table PA is available. So at times when you are writing or writing your username, it will cross check. It will scan the whole database of the username in GitHub to check whether someone is not using the username you're about to write or you're about to create. So after that, after my password here, let me choose. So you have to provide your password. Then I think email must come here. Okay. It's still loading, so I have to wait. So my email will be on. Okay, so once you are done, you take this box to send me occasional product updates and announcements. Okay, when you are done, then you go to create accounts. You go to create accounts. So once you are creating your account, you have to make sure that the email you provided is correct. We will send you a confirmation in your email. So you have to make sure that the email you are providing is correct.
Oh, please go back again. We just joined the link.
Okay, please. I'll allow you to mute yourself, and I want you to mute yourself. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So you have to come here. So join a free plan. I'm coming. So create your account, verify your account has been verified. Okay, you can take the same location now, then go to then click this button. So as I was saying, if you want to create a GitHub account, you have to go to this URL, github.com/join. Once you go there, you the page will be open up to you. Then you start typing your username, your email, then your password. Once you are done, you go to you have to click on the button create account. Then you create your account. After doing that, you'll be prompted to this page so that you verify your email or you verify your account. Okay, so it's saying that it can't the capture responses, so I have to tap it on it again so that it works. So sometimes when you're creating an account, these are some of the challenges you face. But I think it is network issues. It will come right now. Okay, so I've logged into my email. So let me wait for GitHub to send me. Still no. Okay, so I'll try one more time. If it doesn't work, then I'll log into my previous GitHub account so that we use that one instead. So it's still sending me this error message. So I'll try one more time. Once it finishes verifying my account. If it does not work, I'll log into my old account so that we use that one. So for you to create your GitHub account, I want to repeat again. github.com/join. You see this page, and start entering your data. Okay, so I have to let me try one more time. Okay, so I can't be waiting for GitHub to grant me access. So I'll move straight to my Teams app. Okay, so let me move straight to my Teams app. Okay, so I'll unshare my screen. Okay, coming.
Please, I have a question to ask.
Oh, please, all the questions will be I'll open the floor for questions at the ending of the program. So I want us to because it's a very long program, not very long, but I want us to finish before we start asking questions, please. So there's a time for questions and answering. So come in. So I want to log into my GitHub account here before I share the screen again. So GitHub, let's go.
I have a doubt. Can I proceed it? Not a long side. It's a short and sweet only. Hello.
Yes.
We have any activities in there? In our
Please, I want you to speak English. I can't get what you are saying, please.
we have any activities are there?
Activity? You're saying something like activity. I can't get it, please. Okay, so I'm trying to sign in. And once I sign into my account, I'll have to show you some features in the GitHub account before I proceed with the presentation. So let me go here and share my screen again. Okay. So now I'm signing in. So I'm trying to share my screen, but Teams is delaying. Right, to work. I'm coming. Okay, so I'll share my screen again. Okay. So this my GitHub account is loading. So once the web page pops up, then I'll start explaining some of the key features in GitHub. So that I'll continue with the presentation. So once you create your GitHub account, this is the page you see. So there's a documentation where you can learn about GitHub and all that. So we have pull request issues, marketplace, and more. So so this one is an introduction. It's an introduction to GitHub. So I'll first of all show you how to create a repository in GitHub. So to create a repository in GitHub, you come to this plus icon here. You click on it, then go to new repository, right? And also you can come here to your account. Then you can, if you want to sign, I can sign out here. You can go to your repositories. You can also go to your profile and all that. So my username is 3077. So that's what it is there. So let me go ahead and create a GitHub account. Oh, sorry, a new repo. So to create a new repo, you just tap on the new repo button. So it come to so yeah. So and okay. So create a new repository. So you come here, then type the name of the repository. So for ours, I'll name it intro GitHub. So separated by some hyphens. Intro to GitHub. Intro to GitHub. So that's so also in naming your repo name or your repo, it must be unique to your account. So you can't have two or more repositories with the same name. So it must be unique to your account. Okay, so that is called description. So once you are done, you come here, then give a description of your repo. So what does your repo do? Your project, the software you are trying to create a repository for. What does it do? Well, what's the function of the software? So you can give a description about the repo or about the project you have. So I'll say this is introduction. This is an introduction to GitHub. Yeah, introduction to I've missed my R. So come here, introduction to GitHub. I'll say introduction to GitHub. So just then also you can decide to make your repo public or private. Once you make it public, anyone who comes into your GitHub account can see the repo or the list of all the repository. But for them to have access or to make commit, I'll be talking about commit very soon. For them to make commit into the repo, they must have access, right? Then you can also make your repo private. To make it private, to hide it from other users who come onto your site. But you can add people to have access, to have right access to your repository. So I want us to keep it public. We don't have anything to hide. Then we come here to add readme file. So the readme file is actually like a description about your project, about your project. So you can also add a git ignore. Git ignore is quite how do you call it? Is not in our scope now. So but what git ignore does is that it hides some files you keep inside the git ignore folder or file. It hides some files from being tracked by git so that once you push your project, it will not be in the GitHub account, but it will hide it from being tracked or being committed by Git into your Git repository. Then you can also add the license and all that. Then it says that this will set the main as the default branch. So once you create a GitHub account, a GitHub repository, there is a default branch. There's a default branch that is set up. So you come here and go to create repository. Okay, so now you have created a new repository. So I'll be showing you some of the features here and how to go around your repository. So here is the code. This actually this is where your files can be found. Here is pull request. I'll be explaining pull requests in a short while. So you have GitHub actions, you have project, you have wiki, security, the security of your repo, then the settings. So I want us to go into the settings and let me show you some of the features in the settings. Okay, so if you want to change your repo name, you can come here and rename, and you can also add some collaborators here. So so if you want to add collaborators, like if you are working on a project, so if you are working on a project and the other developers are not in your area, so that's where GitHub comes in. So GitHub allows for collaborative work. So you can come here, you can click on the add collaborators. So once you click on the add collaborators, the page will be open. So you come here, then you add the people. So once you click on add people, so you come here, then type the person's username. So if I start typing Prince Adimado, there's no so okay. So let me type dress. When you start typing the person's name, it will pop up. So it is your other colleagues will give you they will give you their username. Then you start typing the name. So if it is Kofi, type Kofi. Then the list will be here. Then you click on the choosing one. So after that, so we are not going to add anyone to the repo. So let me move straight into the general of the settings. The general view of the settings. Okay, so when you come here, I want to show you something. I'm running some various software on my machine, so it's slowing it down. So when you come and say upload and so it said upload. Oh, okay. So here it says upload an image to customize your repository social media view. So you can upload an image here so that once once the repository is being shared on any social media platform, that image will pop up. So you can come here, edit, you can come to the edit, the window will pop up. So let's wait. So edit to upload an image. So to pop up, then you choose the image you want to add to your repository. Okay, so let me come to cancel. Okay, so I want to show you how to delete your repository. Maybe you have done the repository, there are so many errors inside, so you want to delete and add another one. So to delete your repository, you come to delete repository. Then you come here, you copy this name, you copy the part, you copy it, then you paste it here. So once you paste it, the button will be clickable. They just understand the consequences of deleting this repository. So they will list it here for you. So once you agree to it, then delete. So this is how to delete your repository. So once you are done with it, so let's move straight. So these are some of the features, and also there's something called GitHub pages, and I'll be creating one of these days, in the future, I'll be creating an event on GitHub pages, how to host your static web apps on GitHub pages. So let's go straight to code. Let's move straight into code. Okay, so we are here. So so when you come in, you see a URL here. So this is a URL to your repository, to the repository you have created. Okay, so to copy the link to your repository, you either copy, if you want to copy your link, the link to the repository and add it to a Git repository on your local machine, it's either you copy it here, but once you are copying it, you have to add the .git extension. But if you are not copying it from there, you come here, then you come to code. Once you come to code, then you click on copy. So you copy the URL. So for this call, I'll be using the HTTPS, not the SSH, right? So that's so we are done with the some of the GitHub features. And also, I'll be talking about the forking of a repository. So yeah, so you see that the number of times this repository have been forked is 0 times. So let me move straight into okay, so that's it. So I'll unshare my screen again, so that I'll share my window, so that I'll start with the presentation. Okay.
Sir, can you repeat once? Hello, sir, can you repeat once?
You said?
Can you repeat? Listening, sir. Can you repeat once?
Oh, I can't go back again unless I go into the GitHub account. I'll be going to the GitHub account again. So I want you to stay like on the call. I'll be going there again. I'm like you are far behind time, so I want to get things up and doing. So I want to share my. But please don't worry. I'll go into the GitHub account again. So that once I start pushing our project over there. So I'll share. Let me share my window.
Since it's being recorded, we can still watch it later because of time and data.
Okay. Which window should I share? Okay, so come in. Okay. My presenting. Okay. Okay. I'll share my screen again. Sometimes this things happen, so I'll share my screen again.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay, so I was trying to create a GitHub account, but I was having some errors. But so I used my other GitHub account to create a repository. Okay. Okay, so let's go into the presentation and learn what is GitHub. So what is GitHub? Okay. So GitHub is a cloud platform. GitHub is a cloud platform that uses Git as its core technology. It simplifies the process of collaborating on projects and provides a website, command line tools, and overall flow that allows developers and users to work together. GitHub acts as the remote repository, and I'll be talking about Git shortly. So GitHub is a cloud service that allows for collaborative work. So let's say I'm working on the project. I'm working on the project, then with my colleagues, and we are scattered in a like in the city we are in. So I'm in Tema, one is in Accra, one is in like in how they call it East Lagos, one is in Adenta. So we can't come to one place and work. So that's where GitHub comes in. So once you create a GitHub repository, we can work on like in different branches inside the GitHub repository, and that's so I'll be talking about branches shortly. So it's for like it allows people to work together. So that's one of the uses of GitHub. So let me go straight. Let me move forward and go to the key features that GitHub provides. Okay, so we have issues and discussions. Then we have pull requests. A pull request is the mechanism used to signal that the comments from one branch are ready to be merged. So let me show the pull request. So what are pull requests? A pull request is the mechanism used to signal that the comments from one branch are ready to be merged into another branch. So I'll be talking about branches shortly. So so the developer submitting the pull request will often request one or more reviewers to verify the code and approve the merge. These reviewers have the opportunity to comment on the changes, add their own, or use the pull request itself for further discussions. So once the changes have been approved, or if an approval is required, the pull request source branch or like the other branch is merged to the main branch. So the pull request. So let's say we are working on the project and the project is into production. So the app you are developing or it's already into production and people are using the app. So we build it for someone, then so someone came and made the changes to the source code, then he pushed it into production. He didn't create a pull request to alert the rest of the collaborators that, oh, I've made these changes to the source code, and I'll allow you to look or to approve whether to these lines of code I've written is actually correct. And the person pushes it into production, it can destroy it can create some errors or bugs inside the program, which would at the end affect the app. So that's where pull request comes in. It's alert everyone on the selected repository. You create your discussions on it and approve the merge. So let's move on straight to the notifications. So in notifications, as a collaborative platform, GitHub offers notifications for virtually everything that takes place within a given workflow. This notification can be finely tuned to meet your preferences. For example, you can subscribe to all issue questions, edit on a project, and you can also just receive notifications for issues in which you are mentioned. So you can also select which notification to receive. So let's go to labels. So you can manage your work on GitHub by creating labels to categorize your issues, pull requests, and discussion. You can apply labels in the repository, and in the repository the label was created in. Once a label is there, you can label any pull request, discussion, and whatsoever. So let's go into actions. Actions is creating some automated flow in your, or like workflow in your GitHub account to like to test every pull request in your repository, and also deploy a pull request into production. So if you want to deploy your app into production, you can create some workflows in GitHub. Then let's go. So I also, once I was in my GitHub account, I talked about forking. So forking the repository makes a copy of the repository in your GitHub account. The parent repository is referred to as the upstream, while the fork repository is referred to as the origin. So once you fork a repository into your GitHub account, yeah, you can clone it into your local machine. Forking allows you to freely make changes to a project without affecting the original upstream repository, and also to make sure that the upstream repository is up to date with your local repository. You can run a Git Pull or Git Fetch in your command line so that you stay in sync with the upstream. So what am I saying? So I want to show you the image so that you get what I'm saying. So let's say you know a certain repository, right? And the repository, you don't have right access. Like as I show you how to add someone as a collaborator, they have not added you as a collaborator. So what will you do? So to do that, you have to copy the repository into your GitHub account, so that once it's inside your GitHub account, you can clone it onto your local machine and use the code. So to go there, you go to the forking place, then you fork your repository. So this is the GitHub example. It's someone's GitHub repository. So you fork it into inside its own GitHub account. That is GitHub training example. And after forking it into a GitHub account, you clone it to its local machine, like on his laptop or whatsoever. So this is the number of times the repository this repository has been forked. That's 37 times. So if you need to work on a repository created by another owner, such as GitHub example, as I said earlier, and don't have right access to it, you can fork into your GitHub account, and after that clone it. So once inside your GitHub account, you have right access to it. So that's it. So let's move on to creating or cloning a repository. I believe you are following. So very soon we're going to get and learning about the commands and how to configure Git on our local machine. Okay. So cloning a repository. So cloning a repository, make a copy of the repository and its history on your local machine. If you have written access to the repository, you can push changes from your local machine to the remote repository. So the remote repository is most of the time referred to as origin, unless you want to change the name. But if you don't like to be a Superman here, so everyone use origin. So you have to stick by the how do you call it? That's the name for it. By the standard, that's origin. So the remote repository is mostly referred to as the origin. Okay. So add that. So to clone a repository, you have to use this command. So if you want to clone any repository, you have to use this command git clone the URL. So I don't want to jump straight explain what the URL does. So or the features of a git command. I'll be getting into that shortly. So next step, let's go into the step-by-step procedure in installing Git on your local machine. Okay, so this is my source. So after that, and also I want to state this. Once you are in this event, I've created how do you call it, a resource, right? I've created some links to a resource. So so there will be a link that will be posted inside the chat section of the call. So once you are about to leave the call, once the event is come to end, you go there, then you just tap on the link, you fill the form. So the form it just needs, like the form requires you enter your name, then your email address. So make sure that the email address you are provided is correct. Once you submit the form, you immediately receive a resource like links, like resources to learn more about GitHub. And also the slides I'm using, you may also have there's also a link to the PowerPoint slide in the OneDrive. So once you click on once you click to download the PowerPoint slide, it's inside the email that will be sent to you. So once you click on it, you can download the PowerPoint slide for free. So let's move straight into installing it. So to install Git, you have to go to this website. Git. At times I don't want to give the URL. Just Google this Git download. Then go to the first section. So the URL is git-scm.com/downloads. But just search Git downloads and you get into the website. That's the first option you will see. Okay, so to install your Git, you first go straight to depending on your operating system. Ours will be using Windows. If it is Windows, depending on it, just click on it and start the installation process. Okay, so let's move straight. So after downloading the exe file, you run as administrator, right? So after doing that, this option will be open up to you. Just click on yes to make changes to your device. Okay, once you are done after reading, then you click on next. Okay, so once you come here, it says that this is the default destination or location where the Git software will be installed. So choose the default location, don't change it. Okay, once you come to this page, it says select component. So which component do you like to install? Sorry, do you like to install? So once you come to this section, the defaults are okay. So leave the default as it is. The defaults here are okay, so you can leave it as it is. Okay. So select the start menu folder. So yes, we leave it at the default and go to next. So select the how do you call it? The default editor for Git. So you leave it at the default. That's Notepad as the default Git editor. Okay, so once you are done, so the next step allows you to choose a different name for initial branch. The default branch in Git is called master. Unless you are working in a team, that requires you to use a different name. But mostly, when you want to go to Stack Overflow, everyone use master. So leave it as the default. Don't change it, please. So let's move on. So this installation step allows you to change the path environment. So the path is the default set of directories included when you run a command line. So this is what it's trying to tell you. So for me, I know how to use PowerShell and command prompt. So and forget bash. I'm here to learn Get Bash. Okay, so it's trying to say to you that do you want to use Git from the bash Git from bash only. I will not recommend that. So the recommended one is the middle one. So it says Git from the command line and also from third-party software. So once you go, so we can use it from bash or any other any other terminal you install on your machine. So let's move on. Then so the installer now asks you which SSH clients you like it to use. So leave it at the default and you're good to go. Then the open SSL, leave it at the default. If you don't like to change it, leave it at the default. Then also this next selection convert the line enders. It's recommended that you leave it at the default selection. So just leave it at the default selection and you're good to go. Okay. So choose the terminal emulator you want to use. The default is the main TTY and it is recommended. So leave it at the default. And also it's saying that choose the default behavior Git Pull will do the function to perform on your machine. What Git Pull does is that it fetches, then after that it merges the changes in your GitHub account to the Git repository on your local machine. That's what it does. So you don't want to do that to change it. I recommend that you don't change it. Leave it as it is, as the default. Okay. So this one, the next section is the Credential Monitor call. So Git uses credential helpers to fetch and save credentials. So it is recommended that you leave it at the default. And also enabling for the default here is okay. Choose the first selection. Then also at the time this content or this blog was recorded, this one is a bit new, so you can leave it and go to next. If you like to experiment with this, fine, but if you don't like to experiment any with these new features, you can leave it. You may choose not to select anything, then go to next. Once you go to next, you come to this page, install the install page. So once it is installed, don't land Git bash. I recommend that you select the launch Git bash, then you launch the Git bash from here, so that once you click on finish, the Git app will be open. Okay, so this is the process of installing Git on your machine. This is the process of installing Git on your machine. So let's move on to the what is version control. So now we are in Git. So I'm in Git. So I'm about to explain or discuss what version control is. So a version control system, VCS, is a program or set of programs that tracks changes to a collection of files. So it's a program or set of programs that tracks changes to a collection of files. One goal of a VCS is to recall earlier versions of the individual files or the entire project. Another goal is to allow several team members to work on the project on the same files at the same time without affecting each other's work. So that's all for collaboration. So what it does is that you create branches, and I'll be showing you how to create branches once you get into the practical section of this event. So let's move straight into Git. So after learning what is a version control is, what is Git? Git is a distributed version control system, DVCS, that allows multiple developers and other contributors to work on the project. Right? So why is Git distributed? It means that a project's complete history is stored on both the client, that's on the local and also on the server side. That's GitHub account. So GitHub is a cloud service. You can edit files without a network connection, check them in locally, and sync them when the server connection becomes available. Okay. So if the server goes down, you still have the folder or the directory on your local machine. So that's what Git does. Okay. And also GitHub or Git is responsible for everything GitHub related on your local machine or your local computer. So everything GitHub related, Git is responsible for it on your local machine. Okay. So let's go straight into the Git terminologies. And what's up next is the working trees. So it's called the tree. How do you call it? The tree architecture. Yeah. So that's it. So let's move straight into the working trees and learn what is our working. So Git uses a tree architecture. That's it. It has a remote repository and a working copy. That's the directory. And in between is another tree which is called the staging index. So in GitHub, once you are working with Git on your local machine, there are 3 stages. That's your local machine, that's your computer, your laptop, and also so once you're making changes once you initialize a project folder as a Git repository, Git automatically creates the main branch. So after creating the main branch, there are some workflows in Git. So what it does is that there is a working directory, staging index, then the Git repository. Okay, so what the staging index does is that it keeps tracks of the file you are telling Git to keep track of. So once you run the command called git add, Git tracks all these files. And if you don't use the command git add, Git will not know which files you want it to commit into the repository. So once you use git add, you can from there you can use git commit to save the changes into your repository. So that is before you push your project to GitHub, which hosts your remote repository, one must first add. So you have to add the files to the staging index. Then after that, from there you can commit them into your repository. So as you stay on the call, I'll be showing you how to use these various commands. Okay. Okay. So as I said earlier, so there are two commands, git add, then git commit. So let's move on to the Git workflows. So as you are using git add, git commit, branching, merging, pushing, it refers to as the Git workflow. So let's move on to the Git workflow. So okay. Okay, so let's say you have a file called action.txt, and in the file we make changes called A and B in our working directory. That's in our terminal. We make changes in our terminal. That like in the editor we are writing the code. Then later we made another change called C. They can use git add to push those changes to the staging index. Then git commit to save the changes. After that we push it into the remote repository. Okay, so up next is the working trees I'm talking about. So this is a visual representation of the working trees. So here is it. So this is a working tree. So you have the staging, how do you call it? The working directory, the staging index, then the repository. Okay, so as you're working with Git, it is useful to keep these three different trees in mind. There's a working directory which contains changes that may not be tracked by Git yet. Then there's a staging index or directory which contains changes that we are about to commit into the repository. And there's a repository, and that's the repository. So that's actually being tracked by Git. Okay, so let's say we make a change called A. So once we make the change called A, we use git add to stage it into the staging index. Then after that we made a change. So the change called A was Kofi is going to school, right? That's a test file. We said that the file is called action.txt. We made another change called B. That is Kofi is eating. Then after that, when we made that change, we also push that change into the staging index. But wait, well, now in the staging index, there is Kofi is so let's say A is Kofi is eating, right? They made another change called B, say Kofi is going to school. So in the working directory, yeah, there are two changes, but in the staging index, Git does not know that you have made another change. Though it can detect that you have made another change, but it is not being tracked by Git. It does not be reflected in Git. So once you stage it into the staging index, now inside the action or TST in the staging index, it has Kofi is eating and Kofi is going to school. Then once you use Git, once you make another change called C, then after making another change called C, we use git commit. We use git commit to push all the changes into the repository. So that's the workflow in Git. So you first of all make the changes. After making the changes in your working directory, you stage them using the git add. After staging them inside the git add, you push them, you commit them into the repository. And I want to add this to this. So once you use the command called git commit, I'll be showing the command very soon. Once you use the command called git commit, Git takes a snapshot a snapshot of the files you are staging. Then whatever that is in the file, it takes a snapshot of it, so that and after that it puts inside an algorithm and generates a hash value. I'll also be talking about hash value very soon. That's the one that is up next. Okay, so for every comment, Git generates a hash value that it pushes the content of the file into a hash algorithm that generates a number, a 40 long hexadecimal string. So let me not waste much time. Let me go into the key areas to note and let me talk about hash. Okay, so a hash a hash. So what is hash? A hash is a number produced by a hash function that represents the content of a file or another object as a fixed number of digits. It uses hashes that are 160 bits long. Okay. Okay. One advantage of using hashes is that Git can tell whether a file has changed by hashing its content and comparing it to the previous hash. Okay. If the file time and date stamp is changed, but the file hasn't changed, that's the content of the file hasn't changed. This knows that the content of the file hasn't changed at all once it compares the two hashes. So we called the changes we made to the hashing.txt as A, B, and C, just to keep it simple. But that's not how Git refers to them. Git generates a checksum for each of the changes. So that's the checksum we call the hash value. A checksum is a number generated by taking the data and feeding it into a mathematical algorithm. So we call it a checksum. So the checksum convert the data into a simple number. We don't need to understand how the algorithm works, but we have to know that this is a fundamental property that is very important. The same data we put inside the mathematical algorithm always returns the same result or the same result or the checksum. So we call it a checksum because we can check and make sure that it's the same. So you check the files to make sure that it is the same. So the algorithm that Git uses is called the SHA-1 hash algorithm. You don't need to know anything about the SHA or the SHA-1 algorithm or how it compares to other algorithms out there. I need to know that it is frequently used. People will refer to this value as the SHA value or the SHA value. So if you hear someone say, "What's the SHA value of this comment?" So that's what the person is referring to. So the hash value is used to label each of the comments. So anytime you save like the changes to the file swap stage, it's called a comment, right? It's called a comment. So after every comment, Git generates a hash value of that. So the hash value is a 40-character hexadecimal string. So the hexadecimal means that it can contain number from 0 to 9 and from A to F. So it looks something like, so it will be something like 5C15E8BD, up to 40 characters. Okay, so let me go straight into branching. Okay, so branching. So a branch is a named series of linked comments. So I want to stress on this that you have to understand this fundamental property. If you are new to Git and GitHub, or especially Git, you have to understand this fundamental property. Once you know it, then it will be easy. It will be easy for you. Okay, so a branch is a named series of linked comments. The most recent comment on a branch is called head. The default branch, which is created when you initialize a repository, is called the main, or most of the time it's referred to as master in Git. The head of the current branch is always pointed to its name the head. So you can create multiple branches inside. You can create multiple branches inside your Git repository on your local machine. So depending on which branches you are on and the commit you made, the head of the branch or the head of the head will be pointed to the current branch. The head of the Git or the algorithm will be pointed to the head or to be pointed to the current branch in Git. Branches are incredibly useful feature of Git because they allow developers to work independently or together in branches. Then after that, merge them to the default branch. Okay, so the next section is commands, subcommands, and options. So all these things will be made will be how do you call it? You get to understand them more once you start using the commands. Okay. So commands, subcommands, and so once you see a get command, what are some of the components in the get command? Okay, Git Git operations are performed by using commands like Git push and Git pull. That's some of them. There are more commands out there. Git is actually the command. That is the main command. Git is actually the main command, and push or pull is the sub command. So anywhere that follows after Git, immediately after Git is the sub command. So the sub command specify the operation you want Git to perform. Commands are frequently accompanied by options which use hyphen or double hyphen. So you have something called git reset option hard, then git push option all. So these are the options that are followed by. So let me jump straight into the Git configuration, not to waste much time. So up next is how to configure Git. Okay. So from here, I have to after we learning the commands, I'll move straight into the terminal. Then we configure our Git software on our machine. So to check if Git is installed, we run this command. So to check whether we have successfully installed Git, we run this command: git option git option version or git hyphen version. So that's the command you use. So to configure Git, so when you run Git this command git hyphen version, you get to know the current version of Git on your machine. So to configure Git, you must first define some of the global variables. So the global variables, and that's user.name and user.email. When you don't define your user variables as you install Git, you may not able to make comments because Git want to know the person who is making this comment. That's one of the requirements in Git. So to set your name on your computer, you run this command. You run git config option global user.name, then inside the double quotes, inside the quotation marks, you input your username in Git. So my username in Git was 3077. That was my username in GitHub. So to configure your email, you run this command: git config hyphen or option global user.email. Then inside the double quotes, you input your email used to sign up for GitHub. Okay. So once you are done, if you want to see the list of your configuration, or if the commands you use have been implemented, you run this command: git config hyphen list, and you get to see the command. So I want to first of all go into the, otherwise I have to go and come back to the presentation again. So let me finish with the more commands in Git. Once I'm done with that, I can go and use the terminal. So let's learn about the more commands. When you are done, then we go straight into the terminal. Okay, so first of all, we have Git status, right? So what does Git status mean? Once you run the command git status displays the state of the working tree. The state, or the index. So it lets you see the changes that are currently being tracked by Git. So you can decide whether you want Git to take a snapshot. In taking a snapshot, as I said earlier, is that they are saving the changes at that instance. Once you run the command, it takes a snapshot of the files or the contents in the files you have. Okay, so then you have a git add. Git add is the command you use to tell Git to start keeping track of the changes in certain files. So that's what the git add command. So if you don't stage your files in Git or using git add, you cannot save them inside your Git repository, and later you can't stage them into your repository. Then also you can't once you can't stage them into your repository, you can't save, and also you can't push the changes into your GitHub account. onto the cloud service. And also the next step is get commit. After you have staged some of the changes you want to commit, you can save the work as a snapshot by invoking the get commit command. So that's, I've explained get commit over and over again. So let me go straight into the get log. So what does get log does? Get log command allows you to see, right? Allows you to see the information about the previous commit. So each commit has a message. So I want to stress on it. Each of the commits has a message, right? And get log command brings the information about your recent commits, like the time and date stamp, the author, then the commit message. This helps you to keep track of what you have been doing and the changes you have been doing inside that Git repository. Okay, so I'm tempted to go into the get commands. So let us finish the some of the commands here, then go straight into the Git inside the terminal. Okay. Okay, so so this first command, so to initialize your like your directory. If you say directory, and directory means your folder where your like, let's say your files, your HTML files, your Python file, your JS files, your CSS files are in. So once you run git init, you initialize that folder or that directory as a git repository. And so after running this command, like another directory will be created by git inside that directory you are in. So to create a .git extension inside your directory. So you'll be looking at it very soon. Then you go to the git add, right? So as you said, so the git add, you can get, if you are adding a single file, use git add, then inside the double quote or inside the double quote, you input your or even at time the quote is not necessary, but the quote here means that there's supposed to be a file. But you can also use the git add, then the period. So git add space period, so period, so that's the dot. So once you do that, it will add all the files in your directory. So when you go to get commit -m, so the hyphen m is message. Then inside the double quote, you put a short description or a message about your comment. You must always give a commit message so that to tell Git that or to tell other people that, okay, these are the changes I made to this file. Then you have git remote. So git remote add origin. So git remote add origin. So I want to explain this command. So to use this command, we use this command once we want to add a remote repository to our local repository on our computer. So you use git remote add, and I said earlier that the origin here is often referred to as the remote repository. So don't change it. So always leave it as origin. So git remote add origin. So they are saying that the URL in the double quote should be given to this origin. So anytime you call origin, you are calling that URL of that Git repository. You get me? Okay, so let's move on. Now to push your project to GitHub, use this command git push origin master. And here you see you are calling the origin, the origin, that's the remote repository. You are saying push this repository, then push the master, like push the main branch of the repository. Then you use this command, or you can also use this command git push option or. Once you use git push option or, then you are saying that you are pushing everything inside our local git repository into our remote repository. Okay, so once I'm done here, I'll stop presenting. Wow. Okay, so I'll share my screen from here. Okay. So I believe you can see my screen. Okay, so we are coming to. Okay. So thank you very much. So this actually the terminal. This PowerShell. Then so I'll also be teaching you how to use PowerShell if you don't know how to use PowerShell. So we are in this folder, a certain folder. That's the local that's the users, right? Users and master points where all the folders in our in our file explorer is. So I can list. Okay, so I don't want to list ls, so I can change into so for you to change into a new folder or a directory, you use this command. You either use for in PowerShell, you can use sl, or you can use cd to change directory. So you can use cd and say change directory to my desktop. So now I'm inside my desktop directory, so I can list, so I can see, I can also go into this directory again. So so we can, if you want to see the list of the directories or the folders inside your, or the content inside your repository inside the desktop, you can use GCI, that's get child item in PowerShell, or you can use ls, that's ls, or you can use the so the ls is actually, when you use ls, it means that ls is a get bash command, or it's a bash command. You can use there, and there is also is a command prompt command. So once I list gci, it lists all the content. It lists all the content inside my GitHub account, inside the desktop. Okay. Okay, then so I can say set location. That's so you want to, so I want to use one command so that it will stick. So cd, then I'll say push it. So once you start typing the word or the folder and press the tab key, so you once it press it, like it will, like it perform a search, then tap on the enter, hit on the enter key to change your directory. So so to clear your screen, I'll just run cls, then to clear my screen. So now I'm at the top of the window, so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so let's create a folder. So to create a folder, use mkdir. So make directory, then you name the directory name. So I'll name the directory. I believe you can see my font. Okay. So make directory. Let's name it code base 01. So we can make a directory inside this. So let's make a directory. So now you have made a directory called code base 1. So cls. Once you do that, we can run a there. You can use a there. You can use ls. So let's use ls is to still perform the same function. So inside pushing together, we can see the list of the contents. So you have C++ code base. We have the code base 1. So let's move straight. Let's move straight to change directory. We are changing directory to the code base 1. Code base 1. So now inside the code base 1, so you can make a file. To make a file in PowerShell, you use the ni. You can use the Explorer, or we can use the Explorer. You can use the terminal. For this, I want to use the terminal so that you learn something new today. Okay, so you can use ni, and name it action.txt. Okay, so we have made a file called action.txt. So cls, then we run ls. So inside code base 1, we have a file called action.txt, and the length in the file, there are no contents in action.txt yet. Okay, so cls to clear the screen. Okay, so now you have opened the file, right? So inside the code base. So I want us to write something inside the text file. So what you must do is that let's go into our VS Code. So to change to go into your VS Code, just type code code dot, then code and a period, right? And once you run code and a period, the Git how they call the VS code will be open up to you. So to open inside the directory you are in your command line. So you are saying that the period here means that, okay, open VS code inside this directory. That's what he's trying to. That's what the code dot like the code period is talking about. Okay, so our VS code is being opened up. So let's wait. Okay. Okay, so for as I've opened inside our VS code here, so we can type on the, you can open the action.txt file. So I believe you have created some introduction to PowerShell, and some of the commands in PowerShell. So from there you can also, if you like to learn more about PowerShell, hook me up. I'll share you some link, a resource for you to go and learn more about PowerShell. Okay, so to make a, not to waste much time, let's make a first change to a file. So he said Kofi is going. Let's say Kofi is going to school. Is going to school. Then so this is the file this is the first change we have made. So let me demonstrate into my terminal and initialize the code base one. I initialize the code base one as a Git repository. So that's what you learned about the Git. We can't learn it. You can't start using the command that we don't know how to use. Okay, so before that, we learned about the configuration of Git. So let's run this command: Git option version, right? Option version, right? So once you run this command, you get to see the current version of Git on your local machine. So this is the actual version of Git on your local machine. So here is it. Okay. So to configure Git, so I have already configured Git. So to configure, I've already configured Git on my machine already. So but to do it again, you can run Git config. Git config option global, then user dot name, then inside this parentheses, or inside this quotation marks, you input your name. So it was 3077. So that's the username. So once you run this command, it will configure your username on your local machine. But this actually the name on my local machine, so there's no need to override it again. Okay, so once you're done, you can configure your email. You can come here, you can say email. Then inside this quotation marks, you just say email. So you put your email. So if it, for example, you can say if you this is a email that is used for, like, as an example, you can say example at example.org, something like that. So but you have to enter your correct email address inside this. Okay, so once you are done, you can use this command called git config -list to see the configurations on our machine. Okay, so as you can see here, so I think I have to press enter. Okay, so you can see my username here. My username is here. It is 77. Once I press enter, the enter key, you can see my email. Then press enter. So once you press the enter, it depends on this one you'll be using. Once you see the end command, just press kill to exit of that. So once you press kill, you'll be exit. So once you see the end, the command to use or the keyword, the keyboard shortcut to use is kill. Just type kill and you come into the your directory. So I can run CLS again. So now let's initialize our repository, or not our repository, but our folder or our directory. So git init, so git initialize, so git init. So you see a message after it's being initialized. So you can say git initialize empty git repository, right? Okay, so once you're done, you can run this command. Let's run this command and see. Let's run git status. So let's see the command, or what the message says, that no comment on branch master. You can see the branch master as we mentioned earlier. On branch master, no commit yet. There are no commits yet. Okay. So I'll try to take my time so that you understand what I'm saying, right? So if there are any questions, the floor will be open for questions. Okay. So these are the on track files as you saw earlier. So these are the on track files. So action.txt. Okay, so I can run CLS. Okay, so to add your files, to stage them into the staging index, this is what you do. You run git, right? I'm taking my time. Git and say git add. You can use the period here to add everything, to add all the files. So if there are more files, more than, like, there are more than one file inside your directory, don't use the git add, then the period, to add all the files into your staging index. But for this, you have a file there, so you can run the file. So once I press the tab key in the terminal, you can see the .git extension. Then you can press another tab key again. You can see the action.txt. So once you click on the action.txt, you are adding the action.txt file in our staging index. So now once you have used this command, we can then from here we can use the git status to see the state of our changes, or to the track file. So you can run git status. So now it says that on branch master there are no commits yet. Changes, and it says the changes to be committed are this, right? And also it says it's giving you a command that if you want to untrack the changes, you can use this command. So let's try to use this command and see. You can run the git rm means remove, right? Remove, like remove item. Then you can run the cache, then run the file. So you can run the file action.txt. Yeah, so you say that it has removed action.txt from the staging index. So let's run the CLS again. So now let's run git status and see. So now we are back to square one. It says on track files action.txt. So let's run git add again. This time let's use the period. So now you have added it to the staging index. So CLS. So let's run git status again. So now says on branch master there are no commits here. Okay, fine, there are no commits. So let's move straight into our VS Code. So inside our VS Code, okay, let's add another change. Pod coffee is eating, right? So okay, coffee is eating, right? Also add. So let me add another change to it again. So let me see. So coffee is going to say to the market. Okay. So now the files inside my VS Code is auto save, so it has already been saved inside our working directory, right? Okay, so let's run git status again. Now it says that okay, now we have, so inside, as I said earlier, inside git inside the action.txt, there's Kofi something. Let's say Kofi is going to school, but we have made another change to our directory or inside the action.txt. So that's saying it has been modified. Action.txt has been modified. Okay, so we can run CLS to clear the screen. Okay, so we can run git add, right? Git add and a period. You can use the file name, or you can use the period, anyhow you want to. Okay, so you can run git status again. Then I want you to see something. So this is the command you see, git status. Okay, so we are done. So now let's commit our changes. So once you commit it, we will go, and I think I copied the URL for the repository you created. So you can come here, then run git commit. I said git commit, then option M. Then inside the code we write let's say first let's do the first commit. It will be pen. Let's do my first commit. So that's our description. This is our first commit. So first commit. So git commit -n. So it's going to save the changes in our staging index. The files that are being tracked by Git, right? So once you run this command, I also had the opportunity to tell you about the hash value, right? So I can run this command git log. Once I run git log, I want to also stress on this again that the PowerPoint slide will be available in an email. So once you have to fill the form. So Victor, I'll allow you to share the link inside the chat section so that people, or so that our people will get access to it. So once you are leaving the presentation, or once I'm about to end the show, then you tap on the link, you fill the form. Once you fill the form, it is automated, so you immediately receive an email from me. Okay, so this is actually the hash value. You can see the hash value here. You know, to also talk about branching, I say that the head is always pointed to the current branch, and the current branch is called master. So that's how you have to explain it before we go. So this actually, so the date and time stamp is also here. Okay. Okay, so now we are done. So let's add a remote repository. Let's add a remote repository to our Git repository on local machine. So let me try. Okay, so I'll first of all go into my okay, I'll come here, then copy this code, right? Copy the HTTPS, the URL for my Git repository, my GitHub repository. So I want to stress on this also. I'm saying that the code, the URL here is the same as the one in the code, but just with this, it's just with the dot git extension attached. So if you want to copy it from here, you must add the .git extension to it. Okay, let's move straight into PowerShell. So let's use git remote add origin. Git remote add origin. So the command is actually this git remote name. Then but I'm saying that mostly the origin is referred to as the remote repository. Okay, so git remote, inside the URL, add this URL, then you close it with the double quotes, then run the command. So now you have added a remote repo. You have linked a remote repository to our Git repository. So now once you have linked it, okay, we can run git push. Okay, you can say git push origin master. I can run git push origin master or git push option all. But let's run git push origin master to push the main branch onto the cloud service or onto GitHub. So let's run this command. So you see the message. You see once you take this this event very serious and they start pushing. You create your GitHub account. You start pushing your project. You configure your Git. Start pushing your project. Once you push it, you see there's a joy you feel once the command works on your machine. There's a joy that comes with it. So once it goes through, so it is to go through. Let's wait. So it has come. So it has come. So you can see. Says that is pointed to the master branch, give you like the name, the remote repository is this and all that. So this is the message. So let's run CLS. So this is once it goes through, now you have pushed into our GitHub account. Okay, so now let me go into my GitHub account. Now you can see it says here, please, you can see here that says okay, like master had recent pushes less than a minute ago. So just now, see, so that's why I was saying that GitHub is actually a cloud service. So that's it. Yeah. So you can come here. You can go to this. So when you come, you just click on the master URL, the link here. It will open it. It will open up to the actual files inside the repository. Okay. Okay, so we have it here. We have it, and also I want to say that you can also see the hash value. The hash value is here. Then see that it was the hash value is here, and say that it was committed about 5 minutes ago. So that's the action.txt here. So there's also a terminal inside GitHub. So let's click on the action.txt. So this will lead to my next slide, which is called zinking and branching, right? So okay, so this is actually the editor in Git. This is actually the editor in Git or in GitHub. So you can come here and edit. Okay, so let's edit the file. I want to edit it so that once I go straight into the slide, you don't need to come here again unless you push some of the files inside the folders. So once you come here, let's run. So we can say Kofi. So just a test file. So yeah, I'm using Kofi. Please bear with me. So let's say Kofi is going to visit Amma, right? Okay, then you can also add something like Kofi says Kofi is going to play, right? So these are the changes you have made inside like GitHub accounts. Okay, so once you come here, we can commit the changes, right? So you can add a message here and say added, let's say added more actions, added more actions to. Okay, so this is a message. So we can say, so from here it says that commit directly to the master branch or create a new branch, but you want to commit it to the master branch, right? Later I'll show you how to use the git commands to create a new branch inside your machine or your machine. So we can say commit changes. All right. So it is loading. Okay, so now I see it has been committed, but you have to know something. You have to note that the two lines you have added to or the changes are made to the file. It's not like like our local Git repository is not aware of it, though it can tell, but it's not aware of it. So you can use some commands to do that. Okay, so let me move straight into my VS Code. So now you see that like the file, the changes you made has not reflected here yet, right? It has not reflected here in our terminal. It does not reflect that in our terminal. So I'll go. Let me share my window so that I'll show the slides. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay, so let me share my window. Okay. Okay. So let me jump straight into the slide. So zinking, so the next option is singing GitHub. Okay. So let me stress on this again. So to clone any repository that you have access to, use this command git clone, then the URL, right? So okay. So git clone will take a copy of the repository and place it onto your local hard drive. If you have already copied the repository or your local hard drive, in order to synchronize the information that is on GitHub, they can run a command called Git Fetch. Git Fetch command. So it creates a link between, or re-establishes the link between the changes in GitHub, and then onto the Git repository on your machine. Okay. So Fetch downloads the information from the remote repository and brings the information to your local repo so that it's up to date. But it does not actually do anything with the information. That's not like save it, like merge the information from the GitHub account to the Git repository. What it does is that it synchronizes the link between the GitHub account, the repository on the GitHub account, and the repository on your local machine. Okay. Finally, we have the command called Git Pull. Okay. So the pull command is a combination of fetch and also after fetching, it merges the data in your remote repository to your local version of the repository. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show. So let me end my slideshow here. Okay, so I'll move straight. Okay, so let me share my screen again. All right. So times the presentation, it's like it counts. You can't even go into your taskbar. Okay, so let me go straight to the terminal. So you can also use the terminal inside VS Code, but because I want everyone to see what I'm doing, so I love to put it here so that everyone sees it. So it's still connected to the one in VS Code. Okay, so let's run. Let me run get status and see. Okay, so you see that on branch master there's nothing commit to commit. So let's run get fetch, right? The get fetch. So once you run this command, it will synchronize what is on our GitHub account to the one on our machine. So let's wait. So it is establishing the link between the other one. Okay, so it is done. So let me run CLS. CLS is actually clear. You can also use the keyword clear, right? You can also use the keyword, the same one. So CLS or clear is the same thing. So let's run git after the git fetch we run. We can use git pull, but I wanted to use the git fetch. So let's run git pull. I think to throw some error here, I'm sure. Okay. So throw some error here. So you say that let's run git pull the remote name and the branch name. Okay. So we say, so to do that, we say git pull. Then the remote name is called origin. Then the branch name is called master. So git pull origin master. Okay, so it is fetching it. So once you are done, you go straight into VS Code. Then you see the changes that was made. So the data or the content on the GitHub account has been merged to the one on a local machine. So let's jump straight to VS Code. Now you can see that the changes have been reflected. So you can see the changes here. Once you run the command, you can see the changes here. Okay. So that's that. So let's move on to branching. So after branching, you can call it a day. Okay. Okay, so let me stop presenting. Okay.
Yeah, I have a doubt.
Okay, so I'll jump straight to okay. So let's move straight to branching. Okay, so since Git and GitHub is a collaborative platform, there's something called branching. So once you are working on it, once you are working with a team, you guys can create multiple branches. Then everyone will take their branch and be working on that same branch. So once you are done, you can create a pull request to create some discussions about the branches you made. Then later you can approve. After it's approved, you can merge them. Okay, so so to create a new branch, you run this command git switch option C, then the name of the branch, or you can run this command git checkout option B name. But for us, we'll be using the git switch option C. What does the option C do? So this is what it does. So it copies the history from the main branch onto the new branch we are trying to create. Okay, so and then the git branch actually gives you the current branch we are on. That's what it does. Then git merge, right? So to merge to a certain branch, you have to go to the branch that you want to merge to. Then after doing that, you merge the branch, the other branch you want to merge with. So that's what you do. Okay, so that's what to merge another branch to another branch to make to the main branch. You use the command. You use this command git merge. So we're doing it practically very soon. Okay, then git switch name. So to also switch to another branch, you can use the git switch name or any other. So you can say git switch, then the name of the branch you want to switch. Okay, so that's it. So this is actually the commands. Okay, so let me share my screen so that. But first of all, when I'm trying to get into my task bar is at the topmost one. So let me try to change it so that I'll bring it down. I'll bring it below. So let me try to change this. Give me some minutes. I'll try to change it. Oh, okay, so it has been done. Okay. Okay. So let me reshare my screen for the final section. And after that, we push changes to the main to the repository we created. Okay, so share my screen. Okay. So we are done with it. We are done with the action.txt. So I want to go straight. Okay. Go straight here. So I want to open this inside VS Code. So the code base 2 is a nav bar. So you like to push into a GitHub account you'll be creating. So these are the files. Okay. Come here. Right click on them. Then I open in VS Code. Okay. All right. So let's wait for VS Code to be open. So as it is in the process of opening, let me go straight into my GitHub account and create a new repository here. So let me create a new repository. So after pushing this, we can create. Okay. Wow. Okay, so let me do it fast. Okay. Okay, so we have, so name it the blue. And leave it, let's leave it optional because of time. So let's create. Okay, so let's we hit it. So let's try to write. Okay. Okay, so okay, so I think that the name is, I can say new 01. So I might check to see whether my so the me creating the repository has been grayed out. I have to wait for some time. Okay. I want to refresh the page and see. Okay, so let me name it again. So I'll say the blue number. Okay, so now it has come. So you can say create template, then say create. So we'll be doing this. So this one you have done it before, so you just create. Let's push this one onto the site. Okay. Okay, so here's it. So I want to copy the code here, the HTTPS. So next time I'll be showing you how to use the SSH once I organize an event on it. Okay, so let me go straight into I think my VS Code should be open by now. Okay, so let me go. I'll go into my terminal. I'll change directory. So let me change directory. Okay, so let me run another. I'm inside my desktop, so I can say ls. Okay, sorry. I must go into the folder first before ls. So cls. Change the push. I can say change directory again to. So okay, Coinbase now bar. Okay, so change directory to. Inside this code, so you can initialize this as a GitHub Git repository. So Git init. So you have initialized it. So you can run. So you can add all the files. So before we see, I want us to see the code itself. What it does. So it's a static web app. So let's see the code itself, please. Let's see the code. So I was trying to open inside VS Code, but it couldn't. So let me do it here. Code then dot. Right. Let's run the command. Let's run the code. Okay, let's actually see. Otherwise, if you don't do it, you will not be able to see what's actually okay. The blue number has been open here. Okay. So this is the blue number. So you have the CSS file. So you have to first open the file before so that you activate the extensions. You have the HTML file, then the JS files. Okay. So I'll have to show you what it does, what it looks like. Show you what it looks like. So I'll first come here. Let me run it inside the live server so that you see what it does. So it's a navigation bar, like a responsive navigation bar. So for a mobile view. So as I've done it, let me go straight into this and so to open up here. So let's wait as it opens up inside our browser. So let me open it. Let me run the command again. Open in live server. What's going on? Let me try it one more time. Okay, so it's not happening. So okay, so if that I want to show you what it does, but it's not happening. So let me go straight into inside my code, inside my folder. Let me open the C++ file. Once it does not open, I'll be writing the command, not see what is actually being done. So let me open this. So it's like this one is a C++ files. So let me open this inside the dev C++. Okay. Okay, so okay. So let's wait. So let's the Git branching we use. Let's try to make some changes using the Git branches. So let me go back again because it's delaying and I've done almost 2 hours. So I don't like to waste much of your time. So let me move straight into the directory. So cd. Then we go into let me run the ls and see ls. So sorry. So cd is side pushing. So cd code base C++ code base. So we are here again. So let's create a new branch here so that it's the same command. I wanted to push some of the file, but it's not happening. So let's run git switch. So let's so git switch, right? Git switch option C, then the name of the branch. Let me name it new item. Let me name the new branch new item. Let me run the command. So now I've switched to new branch. Once you run the git branch, you see it here. Okay, so now you're inside the git branch, so you can make a change. So let's still use the code inside our VS Code. So let me come here because the first I'm trying to open is not actually happening. So let's say let me use my name. Prince is hosting an event, right? I've made a change here. So now let's use git add. Let's run git add, then dot to add everything here. So now let's run git status. Okay, so now you can run git commit, then -m, just commit -m, then just say another, let's say save of time, another change, the command. Okay, so it has been added. So CLS. Okay, so let me go straight into my GitHub account. Okay, so I think I've added this, so there's no need to add it again. So I'm sure about that. So let me run git. So now I've added a change onto the main branch, so I can run git log. So to run so I've made some previous commits on it already. So you can run git log type option one line. So that so this option one line will actually show you the commit in a brief, like inside a summarized form. Right? So git log I so made so on side, so the head of the branch, this is actually the command, the hash value, then the head is pointed to the new item, right? The head is pointed to the new item, then another change is here. So this is a commit message we did. Okay, so we are not on the main branch. So I've made the change on the main branch, right? So let's try to add. So let's go into our VS Code and see the change itself. So okay, that is here already. So to merge, so let's use this this command merge. So to merge a branch, you want to merge the new item to the main branch. So you have to first switch. You have to first switch to the main branch. So switch, okay, master. Git switch master. Okay, it has been switched to the master branch. So from you can use the git merge, then the new item. So it will be so once you switch to the master, you say you want to merge the new branch to the master branch or to the main branch. So now it has been updated. I've merged it. So once you run the git log, you can see it here. Git log, then one line. Okay, so you can see here that you can see the head is pointed to the master branch and the new item, then another change. So let's say you are finished with one branch and you want to what's the word? You want to delete you want to delete the older branch, right? The new branch you just created. What command will you use? You know, so this is actually it's called the Git Workflow. So you add a feature, you make changes, you merge to the master branch, then you delete the old branch. So let's see how to delete an old branch. So use the git branch, use the git. So let's use this command first. Git branch. You see the branch we are on. We are on the master branch now. So you can say git branch. Let's say git branch hyphen delete. You can use this command delete, then the name of the branch, new item, or you can come here, you can use the short form of the command, like git branch, then d, the d, or so the d will delete, it will be like the first command I just typed, or you can use the d, the uppercase d. If you use the uppercase d, it means that like maybe it ignores all the errors inside your Git repository and delete that branch. Okay, so let's use d and delete this branch. Okay, so you say deleted branch, new item. So let's run git log one line. Git log one line. Sorry, git log one line. So I see that the other branch has been deleted has been removed, has been deleted. So we can run. So let's run git push origin git push origin master, or so if I use origin master, I can say git push option all to push everything. So once you do that, I think I've not staged, so I can cancel it. I've not staged the comments. So let me run git add all. So let me add everything. So after that, I can run git. Yeah, okay. Let me run. So git add. Let me run git status and see. Okay, there's nothing for to commit, so I can run the git push off. To put the changes to GitHub. So once you are done with this, then means we are done with the events. I wanted to show how to push your C++ files. It's the same thing, the same formula you use, and some of the static web app I built. So, but it couldn't happen so when you're far behind time. So once it's done, then we can call it a day. So okay, so we have pushed it into our main branch. So okay, so thank you very much. Thank you very much. So if you have any question, you can ask me, or if there are no questions. Victor, I believe you have posted the appreciation email inside the chat section. I can
Yes,
stop
it's
it
been
then.
posted.
Oh, okay. So thank you very much. So that's it. I wanted to show you some of the number I built and create a new repository. I couldn't happen so. So thank you very much and have a productive day.
Hey, I have a doubt.
Please, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Your English was so different. Which country you come from?
Come in.
Which country you come from?
I'm from Ghana. I'm from Ghana.
Nation?
I'm